Everyone, it's Emily. Welcome back on my channel. Today's video is going to be a very exciting makeup tag. I'm going to be doing the blush tag, which I've been around for a little while now, but I feel like not a lot of people did it, and I was very interested in doing it because I'm a blush fanatic. Honestly, my first love with makeup was blushes, and I have decent collections, so I thought it would be pretty fun to do. It's always fun to hear more about favorites and everything, so I tag all of you if you were interested in doing it, or you can always leave in comments your favorite blushes because you can never have too many, right? I'm gonna start right now because this is gonna be a long video. I couldn't just narrow it down to one blush. Usually the question will have a couple because there's so many that are fantastic, they just need to be mentioned. So first question, best packaging, and yeah, I'm starting with like 3 brands because can't help myself. 3 of them are fantastic. First one has to be the Balm, which, how gorgeous is this packaging? I love the whole retro vibe that they have going on. All their blushes look like don't tell me you don't need these in your life. They're so adorable, but it's not just the packaging. The quality of the Balm blushes, actually the Balm, all their cheek products are stunning, amazing, highly recommend. This one is Frat Boy, which is one of my favorite peachy pink color, gorgeous color. There's Cabana Boy, which I love during the summer. Look at that mauvey color. It just gives you the really like I've been in the sun look. Dawn Boy, which is a beautiful pink tone, blue tone pink. And last but not least, Hot Mama, which everyone knows. No fingers, but look at this. How gorgeous are these? They last really well on the cheeks. They're very blendable. Recommend them. Another one of my favorite packaging has to go to Benefit Cosmetics. How adorable are these? Like, all their packagings are those cute little boxes, which I don't know about you, but these I find very, very adorable. And again, it's not just the packaging, the color, the blushes are just amazing. Coralista is just a classic peachy color. You can wear this on a daily basis. It's just amazing. Same thing about Nirvana, which this one is the cute little swirl going on. And Rocketeur has to be one of my favorite because it's like a rose gold color, which there's not a lot of rose gold blushes out there, but again, that packaging though. I'm such a sucker for good packaging anyway, like it just makes me want to buy them. Last but not least, I had to mention those blushes from Too Faced, which I feel like this is like either hit or miss depending on your taste. I know that they kind of look childish, but kind of reminds me of Polly Pockets, which makes me want to have all of them. So those are the Too Faced Long Lasting 16 Hours. Those are the Love Flush blushes. The inside is actually super pretty too. They have little designs on them. Obviously I've been using it, so it's starting to be a little used, but this is gorgeous. This one is Baby Love, which is one of my favorite ones. Prettiest Colors, I'm trying not to repeat myself like too many times, like the same colors, so I'm gonna have to go with like as a whole brand, I would say MAC, just because they have so many colors. Like for sure you're gonna find at least a couple shades that you're gonna love on your skin tone. Some of my favorites, some because I couldn't sit here and mention a lot of them. For the like neutral colors, I love Blushbaby, and this is Prism, which is perfect for the summer. 2 beautiful matte colors, they're gorgeous. They look like nothing in a pan, but those are the like magical blush that when they're on your cheeks, it's just, woo, what are you wearing? Just to give you a few more alternatives, this one is Peaches, which is a gorgeous matte peach color. This one is Melba. This one is great for every day, by the way. And this is Springsheen, the only one that has a shimmer to it, but this is one of my favorite ones. So as you can see, they have such a gorgeous range of color. Like those are just some of my favorites. Most Pigmented has to go to Sleek Makeup. If you haven't tried their blushes, you need to, especially if you have a deep skin tone. These are just ridiculously pigmented. Obviously, I chose like the most muted shade they have, which is Suede, which gorgeous. I have to be so careful whenever I use their blushes because they're so pigmented and they last incredibly long on your cheeks. And the packaging is just so hard to open though. To get a better idea, how bright is this? This one is Life's a Peach, and it's just really pigmented. Like they even have some palettes, which once you see this, you'll understand. So you can easily see that those are just some really pigmented blushes. Like it's just ridiculous. And like once you swatch them, like it's just as bright. Those look more like lipsticks than blushes, but yeah. If you are looking for really, really pigmented blushes, I have to say Sleek would be the brand I would recommend because they're pigmented, like really insanely pigmented. But they have gorgeous colors, but I have to be really careful with my skin tone. If you have deep skin tone, they have so many gorgeous shades. Like I know one of them is like pomegranate, would look amazing on deep skin tones. Everyday blushes, I have again so many to mention, but they're all the same color family. I'm gonna mention the one that I am wearing on my cheeks if I can find it. Here it is, Tarte Expose. I know everybody's talking about that blush, but there's just a really good reason. This blush is just everything. Like I said, I am wearing it on my cheeks right now. I'm not sure how it's gonna look on camera. I just moved. I'm not sure about the setups, but this is just, it's everything. It looks like nothing when you like look at it. It looks like nothing when you swatch it. Even when I swatch it, it doesn't look like much, but it just gives you this gorgeous mauvey natural color on your cheeks, especially if you're wearing a little bit bronzer like I am, and then it just blends out to the blush. It just does magical things to your face, basically. If you're not someone that loves wearing blushes, but you want to buy like one of them, that one would be the one I would mention. But any of the blushes that are the same type of color, like I said earlier, I was talking about blushbaby by MAC. Benefit Dallas, which is again this type of color that is like kind of in between a blush and a bronzer. They just look perfect. If you were looking for an everyday blush, these would be the type of colors I would recommend. Ooh, actually, also almost forgot to mention this one. I wanted to give it a shout out because this isn't the packaging, but the blush per se, that is gorgeous. And it's another of those pinky mauve color. This one is the Milani. This one is Romantic Rose. It hurts my heart every time I try to use it because I'm so scared it's gonna like disappear. The little rose is gonna disappear, but I've been using it quite a bit and it barely shows. So I have hope that I'm gonna be able to use this a lot without ruining it. Number 5, party blush. I didn't want to choose like a blush that I would wear at a party. I wanted to choose the color that is the party, you know what I mean? Because there's, again, I would be mentioning those type of like boring looking blushes because usually I will go with a strong eye or a strong lip, not usually a strong cheek to go to a party. So if you want the cheek to be the party though, then I would recommend those type of like bright orangey peachy color. I think they're so much fun. Obviously there's a couple brand that does them, but I tend to go for Tarte. This one is Tipsy and the other one is Blissful. Those are the type of color I go for whenever I want to party on my cheeks. But they're so much fun. They're pretty bright, but they are very easy to blend out. Like this is just everything. This is the party. It is pigmented, but it's very easy to blend out and work with compared to the sleek blushes. So as you can see, this is the color. It's stunning. I also love Blissful, which is just a little bit more pink. Blissful is not as pigmented, but that's a good thing because I can pull it off a lot easier. So that's Blissful just underneath. It's a little bit more pinky and less like reddish orange. Or again, from the Milani collection, I would go with this one, which is Coral Cove, which if you want a bright party blush, this is the one. I feel like this video is going to be so long. I'm going to try to accelerate a little bit. One blush that I regret purchasing. This has to be the Makeup Forever. Those are the cream blushes. This is the HD Eye Definition Blush Micro Cream Blush. Okay. This is a full-on YouTube made me do it. I don't even like cream blushes. I'm putting that out there. I don't need blush that are long-wearing, waterproof, because blushes tend to last very well on me. But this has to be something that I'm like, what were you thinking? This is so pigmented. It could have been with the sleek one. Like the tiniest little amount would be enough for like, it dried out. That shows that I don't use it very often anymore. Well, the texture isn't what it used to be, so it has to be decluttered very soon. By the way, I'm gonna be doing a decluttering series, so this one you can already know is gonna have to go because it's starting to dry out. But do you see how pigmented this is? It's a pain in the butt to apply very carefully, and you have to use the tiniest amount because otherwise you have enough blush on your hand for like everyone in your family. Like, come here, I'm gonna put some blush on you because it's gonna dry on my hand otherwise. But there's just so much pigment in this tiny little tube. It will last you forever. I did try to use it, as you can see, but honestly, it's just not for me. I regret buying this because I don't reach for cream blushes, especially if they're gonna be in a tube like this. It's just too much trouble to put it on your hand and then apply it to your face. I feel like we're already doing this with like concealers or like your foundation. You don't need to add another step on that hand. Least used. I'm gonna be honest, Becca blushes. I have two. One of them is very recent, so it kind of doesn't count. But the other one is a Flirt Flower Child, which I bought during the last Sephora sale and I haven't touched it yet. Which is the reason I wanted to do this plus the decluttering videos, because I want to know what I have. I feel like I tend to forget because everything has been like not stored properly, so I don't see what I have, which is very frustrating. But this color is also, for my defense, more of a spring summer shade, which this is the color. It's gorgeous. I don't know what happened to it. Did I put my nail in there? But they are so ridiculously creamy, like high quality blush, and they swatch beautifully. Like it's this one. It's gorgeous. And the other one I have that I just purchased is the color Wild Honey, which doesn't look like much when you look at it that way, but honestly, when you swatch this is just the type of like blushes that gives you the perfect quantity of like warmth to your cheek, which is just super natural and gorgeous. As you can see, this one, beautiful. But honestly, I haven't used them. Well, the last one, just bought it, obviously. But the other one, I haven't worn it once. But I'm going to be putting it somewhere where I'm going to see it and start using it because it is beautiful. The quality is there. Like, they're super creamy when you touch them. But yeah, least used. Most used. I want to mention again, Tarte Exposed. I didn't want to re-mention the same blushes, but I have to mention it just because if you have one of those, you know how long it takes for the design to disappear. And come on. It's pretty much gone. So I've been using this a lot. You don't need to use much to get the pigmentation on your cheeks. Number 2 has to be one of my most worn, most loved blushes, has to be Nars Deep Throat, which I know Nars in their names, but I like this one so much more than Orgasm, which I know everyone loved. But this one is a little less red. It's a bit more pinky peachy with like the gold shimmer through it. It just suits me a lot better, and it's just so natural. It's so beautiful. It's this one on top right here. It's just so beautiful on the cheeks. I'm always wearing this during the spring, summer. That and like Springsheen by MAC are just the love of my life, basically. It's beautiful. I highly recommend this color if you haven't, or if you tried Orgasm and you weren't sold, this is the one for you. Favorite blush brand, I have to mention 3. I'm sorry, but I can't choose. There's just so many beautiful blushes in those brands. First has to be Nars. Like, who doesn't want this on their cheeks? Like, I know I do. And Deep Throat and like Luster, Madly, that one was Gaiety and Mataji. Like, they're just so many beautiful colors. Like Madly is another one that like everyone needs in their life. Like, it looks like nothing, but just gives you the most natural sheen bronze color. It's basically like better version than a bronzer. If you love bronzers and you don't love blush, Madly is for you. It just adds that little thing that kind of is a blush, kind of isn't. I love this one. MAC already showed you so many colors. Love them. Same thing for Tarte. Like, these last 12 hours for real, like, they're just amazing. I feel like Tarte needs to come out with like 10 more colors that are matte, and I will buy them all because they're just fantastic. Number 10, greatest discovery of last year. I will have to go with Urban Decay. It was my first time. Did he even have blushes before that? I can't even tell. But these blushes, the packaging, first of all, is actually adorable. You can't really see it on this one, but this one, the color of the blush is much brighter, so you can see the blush through the UD, which I think is so cute. And they have crazy colors, as you can see. But I want to mention like Rupture, which is just a better version of like Nars Sin. I feel like this one is even better. It's so creamy, like ridiculously creamy when you swatch it. I feel like Nars Sin, the one I have is in a palette, so it's a little bit more dry, but Rupture is like even better. This one is the color Obsessed, which is another bright baby pink, which I feel like a lot of people are afraid of these colors, but honestly, try them. They suit pretty much any skin tone. Just gives you this most like, what language am I speaking there? This like brightening effect on your face is just out of this world. You don't have to get this one. Like, I know Gaiety has one, I know Dior has one too, but these type of blushes don't get enough love. So those are the 2 colors right here of the Urban Decay ones. Those are actually the Afterglow 8-hour powder blush, which they easily last 8 hours on me. They are stunning, super creamy, high quality. I've been impressed with them, and I have to say, yeah, the packaging doesn't hurt either. Number 11, most practical. I have 2 things to mention. The first one has to be this Nars palette, which they're a limited edition, but they usually come out with at least once a year. One of those. This one was the first one that I can remember, which was the Demari palette, which has so many gorgeous colors. If I can open it. So this is what it looks like. I think this one is really practical just because you get a highlight, a bronzer, and then 4 different blushes. Always practical to have palettes, but I feel like a lot of brands are starting to come out with like even permanent color in palettes, which so great, especially whenever the quality is the same, because I feel like sometimes the blushes in the palette aren't the same as the quality. I don't know about you, but I think this is very, very practical. The other one has to go with Tarte, which I feel like I've been mentioning them a lot, which kind of gives you an idea, but this is just the first time that I've seen a brand do this, is that you can depot them. There's a little hole right there. You can depot them, put them in your Z palette, and then you come back from trialing and you put it back in there. Why does that not exist in every brand? Like, you would think MAC would do this, because I refuse to depot them because I'm afraid of breaking them all, but this is so practical. So as you can see, just depotted it. It took me like half a second. So this is perfect. I can now travel with this color, but obviously I'm gonna put it back because I'm not traveling. Here you go. Super easy. Why aren't every single blushes able to do this? This is just magical. So this was Blissful, by the way, and I also like the fact that the colors are really similar to the packaging, so it's very easy in my collection to go and find a color I want. But yeah, depotting them is just genius. Least practical, I'm gonna go with, like, in general, bright ass blushes that I can't pull off very easily, like the Urban Decay color that I quickly showed. This one is the color Bang, which, yeah, Bang for sure. Like, it's the color of my lipstick. This is just so bright. I know this is gonna be gorgeous on like deep skin tones, obviously, but on me this is just not very practical, just because I need to be extremely careful with it, blend it like for an hour. Same thing with these sleek ones. Like, I see these colors and I'm like, yep, I want to buy you. I want to take pictures with you. You're so pretty. At the same time, this is the least practical palette for me, because there's no way I can easily pull these off, but I just can't help myself. They're so beautiful. Like, they just make me happy when I see bright colors like this. But yeah, bright colors are not the most practical for me. Number 13, the most expensive. I had to Google this on Sephora website, seeing which one was the most expensive. Turns out I don't have any like Chanel or Dior or anything like this. So the most expensive blush I have is this one by Hourglass, which is the color Dim Infusion, which, yes, these are so beautiful. I know a lot of people weren't crazy about them because the pigmentation is not there, but if you have like light, like fair to light medium skin tone, I would recommend trying at least one color, just because they're the type of like blushes that look, even on your cheeks, you're like, I don't know if I see a difference, but when you start wearing them, you're like, wow, actually it just gives me this most natural flush color, and I'm afraid I'm putting blushes everywhere on my shirt. You just have to apply it to really see it. Actually, let me swatch this. It's gonna look like absolutely nothing because my fingers are so stained with all the other bright colors, but once it's on your face, you can see it right here. Like, it's not very pigmented, but it just gives you the most natural color. Whenever I want to do like, not a like no makeup look, but a very natural everyday makeup look, and I just want to have this like unnaturally gorgeous type of blush, this is the one I go for. So I'm actually very curious to try more of the colors. If you have, actually let me know your favorite colors, because so far Dim Infusion has to be one of my favorite color ever on my cheeks whenever I want to go for that look. Most expensive one for sure, but no regret there. Least expensive, easy. I wanted to go with something that I wear a lot. I probably have like $1 blushes that are a little bit cheaper than this one, but these I just wear a ton when in a while. I feel like everyone is gonna answer that, or pretty much, but these blushes are so high quality for the price. It's just ridiculous. It puts to shame so many other brands, honestly. They are coming out with new packaging though, and I feel like some of the colors, I think there's 1 or 2 colors that are going to be discontinued. So if you see them, go and buy them. You can buy them at Walmart or online. Even on their website, they still have some of the colors, so recommend. I know this one wasn't discontinued, which is the color Pearlescent Pink, which is one of my favorite one, because this is just, it looks a lot actually like Deep Throat. So if you're on a budget and you were interested in getting that one, get When in a While Pearlescent Pink. It actually really does look at like this is the Pearlescent Pink, and the Nars one is right here. So as you can see, they're actually a little similar, so not bad at all. It's obviously very blendable too. They're so pigmented too, but it blends really well, so it can be wearable for any skin tone. That color is one of my favorites. Same thing with Ether Silk, which I haven't seen in the new range, so if you want this color, go and buy it. It's just, yes. I love these type of like mauve pink color. Again, ridiculously pigmented. So you get so much for your money. If you haven't tried those, do it. If they had more colors, they would be part of my favorite brands for sure. So now that I'm covered in swatches, those are very scary. Holy shit, they really look like lipsticks. I feel like I should do a version of this, like highlighter or bronzers. Let me know if you're interested, because I feel like that sounds very interesting. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what are your favorite blushes, which ones do you think I need to try. Don't forget to subscribe if it's not already done, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.